Hi, you're right on time. I'm Fritz Marcia, the Safe Money Man. Come on into my office. Let's talk for a little while.
Now, finance expert Fritz Marcia.
Fritz Marcia.
Fritz Marcia.
The Safe Money Man, Fritz Marcia. Fritz Marcia.
And I've worked with over 2,870 clients.
Instead of losing money, now I am making money and my money's secure with Fritz Marcia.
You want your money in your pocket, not in somebody else's.
And it's nice to know your money is as safe as it can be in this country.
What if I told you there was a secret to covering your long-term care without spending a dime? Would you be interested in knowing how? Let's face it, you don't want to think about getting older. You don't want to talk about getting older. But the fact is, people are living longer and longer. And just because you live a long time, that doesn't mean you're going to be healthy until the day you die. With increasing age comes declining health. And you don't have the same abilities that you used to have when you were young. The chances are pretty high that you're going to need some help. More likely, you're going to need some type of long-term care. Things like home health care, nursing home care, hospice, assisted living. But the big question is, if you need it, and most likely you will, how are you going to pay for it? Most people bury their head in the sand, cross their fingers, hope they're going to be lucky enough not to ever get sick and just die in their sleep. They're wishing that they never have to have home health care. They're hoping they never have to go into a nursing home. And they're praying that their children and grandchildren won't have to take care of them. Well, good luck with that. Advances in medical technology almost guarantee that you're going to live a long time and that you're going to be needing some kind of assistance before you die. According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, 85% of people over the age of 65 have no long-term care insurance coverage, and 70% will need it. That means 7 out of 10 people are going to need some type of long-term care. That's 70%. You know, attempting to pay for your own care out of your own pocket is a recipe for financial disaster. I'm known as the Safe Money Man. I'm a registered financial consultant and author of the book, The Safe Money Method. Over the last 27 years, I've helped people just like you preserve their wealth by using my Safe Money Method. I'm going to show you how you can cover the costs of long-term care without spending a dime. And I'm going to explain it to you in simple terms. None of this financial gobbledygook. You'll be able to understand very easily how it works. Before I get into the details about the no out-of-pocket premium long-term care strategy, I'd like you to know where I'm coming from and why I do what I do. I have firsthand experience in financial devastation due to physical illness. And what I'm about to share with you, you'll see why it's so important to have long-term care and be prepared for the unexpected. My story is a heart-wrenching story, and it's very hard for me to tell. Over a lunch date with my beautiful wife, Joanna, she told me that she was diagnosed with breast cancer. She was given only 6 months to live. We went to work. We got the best doctors, spent whatever we could to try to get her well. We turned those 6 months into 3 years. but the cancer took her life. I became a widow at the ripe old age of 36, and I spent every dime I had trying to save her because I didn't know any better. When I was recovering from my financial wipeout, I learned some things that I could have done differently that would have prevented my financial devastation, and I vowed that I would share that with other people. Because of my personal experience and my professional expertise, I've been invited to speak on ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox stations around the country about how to keep their money safe and to prevent the catastrophic losses from long-term care.
Fritz definitely, he's even come to the facility and he has explained things or brought the papers for me to sign. And I have a peace of mind with Fritz because I know he's not out trying to make as much commission as he can. And that alone has me where I'm not worried, I'm not concerned.
You can see that it's very expensive to have medical help when you're elderly, and so we're very, very pleased with Fritz. After that, we decided we would talk to Fritz about some other financial investments, which he's very familiar with, many different plans that we hadn't even heard of. So we did invest some more after that with Fritz, and looking to do some more in the future.
I'm unlike any other financial consultant that you're familiar with because I have a bird's eye view of what it's like to take care of someone that you love and spend every dime you have trying to take care of that someone. But what if you're the someone? What if you're the one that's sick and frail and needs care? Did you know that the cost of nursing home care in the United States is between $70,000 and $80,000? Geez, that's a lot of money. That'll take a huge bite out of your retirement nest egg. You're probably thinking that home health care, oh, that won't cost much at all. But home health care, that's when a health care aide comes into your house, helps you out. The average cost of home health care is $3,000 a month. That's $36,000 a year. Now, if you're not lucky enough to have enough money for even home health care, then your children and grandchildren get stuck taking care of you. Is that what you want? Do you want to be a burden to your children and grandchildren? A few years ago, I was working with a client planning her retirement income. We set up a good plan. She had a nice income. But she wouldn't do anything about future long-term care expenses. About a year later, she had a mild stroke. Then, a few months later, she had a major stroke, and then another stroke. And her family had to put her into a 24-hour-a-day skilled nursing home facility. And it cost $8,000 a month. Well, at $8,000 a month, it didn't take long for her to use up all of her retirement savings. Her kids were left with no inheritance. All they had was a stack of bills. Let me show you some recent statistics. Take a look at this. The chances of you having a fire at your house are 1 out of 1,200. If you'll notice, the dot there, the red dot, is the chance of it happening. But you know what? We all have homeowners insurance that cover fire. Why? Because if our house burnt down, it would ruin our retirement. Now look at this next slide. Notice all the red dots. Your chances of being hospitalized are 108 out of 1,200. But we all have medical insurance because it's very, very expensive to go into the hospital. Now look at this. These are the odds of you needing long-term care. Look at the red dots. The odds are 840 out of 1,200 that you're going to need long-term care. And 70% of you are going to need it. Now, what is long-term care? What it's not is it's not medical insurance. Long-term care is extended care for things like nursing home, home health care, hospice, assisted living, respite care, personal care, adult daycare. Those are all different types of long-term care. And most health insurance does not cover long-term care. Long-term care is to help you out when you get sick and frail as you age. The average cost for nursing home care in the United States is about $72,000 a year. The average cost for home health care is about $36,000 a year. So what can you do? The first option is you can do nothing. That's what I call the do nothing approach. And this is the most common. This is when you completely ignore the problem and pretend it doesn't exist. But ignoring the problem doesn't make it go away. There's a 7 out of 10 chance that you're going to need long-term care. If you don't plan ahead, you're setting yourself up for financial bankruptcy or losing all your money to the nursing home. You're also setting yourself up for being a burden to your family. The second option is what I call choosing to pay for your long-term care out of pocket. Now, if you're a multimillionaire, hey, that's no problem. Write a check for $72,000, that's just chump change. However, most people are not multimillionaires. They can't just write checks like that. The third option is the Medicaid option. And this gets a little tricky because there's a lot of red tape that you have to go through. But basically, Medicaid is a program for people with limited assets to help them pay for medical coverage and long-term care coverage. And you have to qualify for it. And people tell me it's difficult to qualify for because you can only have one car, your home, and very, very little money in order to get on Medicaid. And then you have to decide, do I want a Medicaid bed? Is that the kind of care that you're going to be happy with? The last option is you can buy long-term care insurance. There's nothing wrong with having long-term care insurance. However, it could be a costly mistake because if you don't use the insurance, you lose it. A lot of people tell me that that's the reason why they don't buy long-term care insurance, because they could be spending thousands and thousands of dollars for long-term care insurance, never use it, and all that money just goes down the drain. Another huge problem with long-term care insurance is that the rates are skyrocketing all over the country. And the reason is because more and more people are needing long-term care. When you've got 7 out of 10 people that are knocking at the insurance company's door to have a claim paid, the insurance company has to have the cash on hand to pay claims. So they keep raising the rates as the number of claims go up and up. And it reminds me of a time a couple of years ago when somebody called me and he was just freaking out over the phone. He said, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I said, just settle down. What's the matter? And he said, my monthly long-term care premium just went up to $531 a month. I can't pay that anymore. I'm going to have to drop it. And he did have to drop it because it was too expensive. He couldn't afford it anymore. He had been paying on that policy for 20 years, but the rates got so high, he had to let it go. And as more and more baby boomers retire, rates are going to go higher and higher. So you're going to see this as a continuing problem with long-term care insurance. The guy that I mentioned earlier who is paying $531 a month, just think, over 1 year, he would be paying over $6,300 for long-term care insurance. Over 10 years, he'd be paying in over $63,000, and he may not ever use it. People tell me the number one reason they don't buy long-term care insurance is because it's too expensive. My free book, The Safe Money Method, shares with you the 12 secrets on how to keep your money safe, including the Safe Money Solution, No Out-of-Pocket Premium Long-Term Care. The No Out-of-Pocket Premium Long-Term Care strategy can help you cover the expenses of long-term care so you don't lose money to the nursing home. What if you could protect your assets from the high cost of care? Maintain control of those assets. Receive 3 times your asset value to pay for care. Pass on that asset to heirs if care is not needed. Do all this with no out-of-pocket premiums. Here's how it works, and this is a great alternative if you had planned on taking the do-nothing approach that I mentioned earlier. If you're in this situation, I'm guessing you have money in places where the value doesn't depreciate. For example, you have money in CDs, fixed annuities, money market funds, and all the rest. So let's say you have that money sitting in a bank CD, and you're earning about 0.64% interest. That's a rough idea of what the banks are paying now. If you transferred the money from a low interest earning asset and put it into a no out-of-pocket premium long-term care plan, you could fund your long-term care needs while protecting your money from unnecessary taxes. You could stop right here and claim victory. Since your money is growing tax deferred, your money is free from market risk, and it's safe. The greatest benefit of no out-of-pocket premium long-term care is having 3 virtual bags of money. The first bag is the largest bag, and it's allocated for long-term care. It'll pay out 3 times as much money as what you started with after only 90 days if you should need long-term care. Plus, all that money is going to pay out to you over 6 years tax-free. You won't have any taxes on the gain. You win big if you need long-term care. Conversely, if you have a CD, you won't even double your money in a lifetime with the low interest rates that they're paying now. But what if you don't need long-term care? What if you happen to die after never having used the money for long-term care? Well, it turns into a second bag of money called a death benefit payable to your loved ones when you pass away. The best part? It's exempt from probate. This is where a no out-of-pocket premium policy trumps having long-term care insurance. The money that you paid into it isn't wasted if you don't need long-term care. You'll also incur some growth on that money in the event that you never need long-term care. So you win if you need long-term care, and you win if you don't need long-term care. But what if you need the money? What if something unexpected happens and you need access to the money? The third bag is easy access to your money in case of an emergency other than long-term care. You're allowed at 10% free withdrawals. That means your money is liquid. You can withdraw up to 10% of your money without paying a fee. You also have the option to cash it in after 10 years. Now you win 1 times 3. You have triple the amount of money you need for long-term care. Your money grows if you don't need long-term care, and you have easy access to the money in case of an emergency. No out-of-pocket premium long-term care addresses the 4 major concerns of traditional long-term care insurance. A proven formula: simply reposition an underperforming asset to leverage the long-term care protection that you need. You bypass the use it or lose it proposition found in traditional long-term care insurance. There are no medical exams like blood draws, physicals, and doctor statements that prolong approval and the underwriting process. You simply have a health interview. Any money not utilized for long-term care is passed on to your heirs. Most people are gambling with their retirement savings, hoping they'll never need long-term care. But the chances of you needing long-term care are at 70%. Why take the risk of losing your life savings to the nursing home or giving away your hard-earned cash to an insurance company? Don't bank on not needing long-term care coverage. Protect your retirement savings and the financial legacy you want to leave your children with no out-of-pocket premium long-term care. No out-of-pocket premium long-term care is the answer if you want to avoid the high cost of long-term care insurance, maintain control of your assets, and have easy access to funds in case of emergencies, receive 3 times the value in the event that you need long-term care, leave a financial legacy to your heirs if long-term care is not needed, rather than giving it away to the insurance company. No out-of-pocket premium long-term care is a way to keep your retirement savings safe and free from market risks while covering the cost of long-term care when you need it. It allows you to grow your money tax-deferred and affords you easy access to your money in the event of an emergency. Remember the client I told you about earlier that had the stroke? She was forced to spend her life savings and her children's inheritance while she recovered, and later required full-time nursing home care. Maybe you're one of the fortunate ones and you'll never get hit with a stroke or something like Alzheimer's disease that would require full-time nursing home care. But something as simple as arthritis or a broken hip could cost you a pretty penny to hire help with the grocery shopping, running errands, and even bathing or putting on your clothes. Don't get blindsided with the high cost of long-term care. Allow me to show you how you can prepare for the future and avoid the high cost of long-term care insurance without spending money on overpriced monthly insurance premiums. Some financial advisors charge you $250 just to talk to them. But if you call right now, not only are you going to get a copy of my book, The Safe Money Method, but I'm going to give you a free 30-minute wealth discussion either on the phone or at my office to answer your questions and talk about any concerns that you may have. But that's not all. The first 53 callers over the age of 55, I'll give you 2 tickets to my gourmet luncheon at a great restaurant in Albuquerque to attend my financial survival luncheon, where I go into detail about the 12 secrets to keep your money safe.
Guy, he just got such a great understanding of finances, the markets, and so forth. And it's nice to to know your money is as safe as it can be in this country.
What I like about Fritz is that he's really down to earth. He really is empathetic. He knows what he's talking about. He doesn't BS anyone. And he's really, really interested in helping people. That's what I really like, and I can trust him. I can reach Fritz anytime I want. He's always available. If he's not available, his assistant is. So I have no trouble at all making an appointment to see him or talk to him over the phone. You know, I would recommend Fritz anytime. He's a good man. He's somebody you can trust, and you can trust what he tells you. And I think your investment, your money is going to be safe if you follow his direction.
I like working mostly with Fritz because he has experienced so many of the things in his life that other people experience, including myself. And to speak to someone who's actually had to deal with it, to get through it, and to recover from medical problems in a way that's a safe way and where you can continue to have some type of quality of life is really rewarding. And Fritz knows how to guide you where your financial things are protected as much as possible from a disaster. The peace of mind has been tremendous because you can sleep at night knowing that if something happens, that you have got the plan set to make it work for you where you don't lose everything you've worked for. He handles what you need when you need it. What I like.
Hurry, call now, get my free book, and take advantage of my complimentary wealth discussion. Call 844-323-1621. I'll give you a copy of my book, The Safe Money Method. You'll get a 30-minute wealth discussion. And for the next 53 callers, free tickets to a gourmet luncheon for the Financial Survival Seminar. Call 844-323-1621. And remember, keep your money safe.